I attempted a Hardcore Nuzlocke using only Pokemon that begin with the letter L. I'll be attempting this challenge in Pokemon Moon, which is fitting since the flagship Pokemon starts with the letter L. I won't be using it though, because Legendaries are banned in my rules. If you want to see the rest of my rules, check out the description below. While you're down there, maybe subscribe to the channel. That'd be cool, no pressure though. I named myself L, and realized my mom is really into the moon? I think she might be a werewolf. I'll keep my eyes peeled for that. It's time for me to select my starter, and for this challenge, my only option is the fire type Litten. So I choose Litten and name it Lix. Litten is the only Pokemon in its evolution line that begins with the letter L. So Lix will stay a Litten forever. I easily defeat my rival and show my mom the emo version of her cat. I get some Pokeballs so the run can officially start, and immediately on Route 1, I can catch a Ladybah. I catch it and name it Lil Lumpy. I defeat Hau for the second time in 3 minutes, and Professor Missing Shirt shows me his sick bachelor pad. This monster locked up these beautiful creatures. My new life mission is to catch your brother and avenge your capture. At the trainer school, I get embarrassed by this child and his pile of goo. This is the first time I'm ever playing a Gen 7 game, so I'm sure this won't be the last time I underestimate a fight. Attempt 2 is more successful, and I can make it to Hau'oli City. I take out some grunts, but the main roadblock here is my fight with Ilima. This is a brutally hard fight this early in the game. Ilima has 2 Pokemon. The first is Yungoos, and while it's not anything special, it can definitely do a decent amount of damage. Another challenging aspect is when Ilima's Pokemon get low health, he uses a potion which recovers a ton of HP. For a fight where I'm basically chipping down health, this can be devastating. Eventually, Lix can take out Yungoos. The true terror here though is Ilima's Smeargle. Smeargle will always know a super effective move against your starter, so here it knows Water Gun. Lix is dead if I stay in, so I have to switch to Lil Lumpy. Lil Lumpy has pretty good special defense and can take a water gun pretty well. However, Smeargle's tackle is a different story. Even with a Silk Scarf, Lil Lumpy can only do so much damage. My team is outmatched in this fight, and Smeargle takes both of my Pokemon down. Over the next few attempts, I try a number of different strategies, including switching items around, adjusting levels, and going for different moves, all of which are not successful. On attempt 9, I decide to sacrifice Lix in order to get a safe switch in to Lil Lumpy. This allows Lil Lumpy to win the fight. However, because Lil Lumpy was already at level 12, he'll either overlevel or die in the fights before the trial, so I need them both alive to move on. Thanks to some really good luck on the next attempt, I'm able to make it through. The next hurdle is the Totem Raticate fight, but luckily, I do get another encounter before the trial starts. By using the game's QR code scanner, I can use the island scan feature to find my next encounter, which is a Litwick. I catch it and name it Lumiere. Finally, it's time for our first trial. Every Rattata in this trial only knows normal type moves. As a ghost type, Lumiere can't be hit at all, so she has an extremely easy time taking out all the Rattata. This is also the case against the Team Skull Grunt's Drowsy. Amazingly, this Raticate gives so much experience that Lumiere gains 2 levels and overlevels for the totem fight. That is so crazy to me, and now Lumiere can't participate in the totem fight. Unsurprisingly, my team gets absolutely annihilated here, since the huge damage from Raticate, plus the extra damage from its ally, are way too much for my team to handle. With limited encounters, this early game is brutal. So much so that it takes me another 12 attempts to beat Ilima while keeping both my Pokemon alive. I'm able to win using workup strats that allow me to take out Smeargle in 1 hit. By sharing experience during the trial, I can have my whole team at the level cap, and now I just need a great strategy to defeat Totem Raticate. Raticate has a defense buff, but even special attacks aren't very strong against it. Raticate knows a dark type move, Bite, but its ally only knows normal type moves. So if I can kill Raticate before Lumiere comes out, I win the fight. My plan does involve sacking Pokemon to do this though. Litten is first, and his job is to try to burn Raticate, which he actually does. The burn will reduce Raticate's attack, and all of its moves are physical. I got lucky with a burn, but my luck reverses immediately, as Raticate's bite flinches me and Rattata gets a crit, knocking out Licks. Next out is Lil Lumpy, who actually has 2 jobs. The first is to confuse Raticate, and after taking some damage and getting its defense lowered, Supersonic hits and confuses Raticate. We immediately get a super clutch self-hit, which allows Lil Lumpy to do its second job, putting up Reflect. Between the burn and Reflect, these guys should be doing way less damage. After some extra luck, including Totem Raticate going for Tail Whip, we're able to do a little bit more damage with Swift, before Lil Lumpy goes down too. Raticate isn't dead, but it's very close when we bring out Lumiere. Because of the setup from his teammates, Bite doesn't do much damage. And though we get an unlucky flinch, we can safely take one more Bite before knocking out Raticate with Fire Spin. With only Rattata and its normal moves left, Lumiere can finish the fight to give us our first completed trial. And although we had to sacrifice 2 Pokemon to do this, I'm not too terribly concerned with who we lost. I have a grand trial coming up, but before that, I get access to a few new locations. One of these is the Mele Mele Meadows. Here, I can find a Petalil, who evolves into Lilligant. I catch her and name her Lil Leafy. I level her up a bit, since I have to take on Hau right as I leave the meadow. Hau starts with his Pikachu, who can't do anything to Lil Leafy. So, I take the opportunity to put Pikachu to sleep and use Leech Seed. Now I can use Growth to raise my special attack. After I get to +6 special attack, I can knock out Pikachu with a few Mega Drains. Now against Rowlet, we're evenly matched until it starts going for Peck. Then I can bring in Lumiere, who takes it out with a few Fire Spins. How do you like that? It's time for my first grand trial, or as I like to call it, a gym battle, but outside. Hala starts with Mankey, and I send out Lil Leafy. Mankey immediately gets a crit Karate Chop, but at least Sleep Powder hits and I put Mankey to sleep. Then Mankey stays asleep as I use Mega Drain to diminish its health and keep myself healthy. Mankey wakes up just in time to use Focus Energy, and I can knock it out. Next out is Makahita, who only knows normal and fighting damaging moves. So I safely switch to Lumiere on the Fake Out. But I really didn't expect Hala to withdraw Makahita, so now Lumiere has to deal with Crabrawler. This creepy crustacean knows Pursuit, which has a good chance of killing Lumiere if I try to switch out. So I stay in and take a ton of Pursuit damage, but I get a clutch Flame Body proc and land my Confuse Ray. Crabrawler hits through Confusion, but at least damage is reduced thanks to Burn. Based on the damage from the previous Pursuit, Crabrawler didn't see a kill by 1 HP, going for Leer and let me take it out with an Acid, Burn damage, and Fire Spin damage. Makahita cannot hit Lumiere, so we can win the fight from here. Hey, I can finally leave the first island. Well, first I have one more encounter to get. In the farthest hollow of 10 Carat Hill, I can catch a Rockruff, who evolves into Lycanroc. I catch it and name it Lil Lab. We set sail for Akala. Hal makes a bunch of weird remarks that make me feel kind of uncomfortable, and now it's time to explore our second island. Might as well get a new look for the new locale, and oh my god, why do those glasses look like that? I cannot wait for some cutscenes with my character. Almost immediately, I can get a new encounter. On Route 4, I can catch Lillipup, and I catch it, naming it Lil Pup. In Paniola Town, Hau challenges me again. Similar to last time, I have Lil Leafy take out Pikachu, switch to Lil Lab, who can easily take the normal Z move from Dartrix, get a burn with Lumiere, and back to Lil Leafy to stall. At the ranch, I can receive Egg. And a bit further on Route 5, I can catch a Fomantis, who evolves into Lurantis. I name it Lil Lush. Eevee hatches out of the egg, and I name it Lil Lovebug. Eevee is viable because I can evolve it into Leafeon, but I'm not able to do that yet. Leafeon would be great for Lana's trial, which has me taking on the water type Wishiwashi. I do have grass types that can take charge here. Lil Leafy puts Totem Wishiwashi to sleep, but somehow it can still call an ally. I guess it's a lucid dreamer. Magical Leaf would be a 2-hit KO on Totem Wishiwashi, but I'm not sure thanks to the Citrus Berry. The ally goes for Helping Hand, and Magical Leaf can't kill Totem Wishiwashi. Of course, it wakes up and uses a Helping Hand boosted Water Gun. This time, Totem Wishiwashi uses Helping Hand, but its ally just goes for Soak. I can knock out the Totem Wishiwashi, and then knock out the ally Wishiwashi on the next turn. The trial is complete, and now I have the ability to surf and fish. On Route 7, I can catch a Finneon, who evolves into Lumineon. I catch him and name him Lil Lake. Getting a water Pokemon is great for Kiawe's trial, as I take on Totem Salazzle. I send out Lil Lake, and Salazzle starts with a Torment. Because of the special defense buff, Scald doesn't do that much damage. Salazzle goes for a Toxic, and the ally Salandit goes for a very devastating Venoshock. Because I'm tormented, I use Rain Dance. I decide to stay in and sacrifice Lil Lake, because its Swift Swim ability will allow me to go first and do significant damage to Totem Salazzle. Thanks for your sacrifice, lil guy. This gives me a safe switch in to Lil Lab, and since Salazzle just goes for Torment, Lil Lab can knock it out with one Rock Throw. I'm tormented, so I go for Howl to raise my attack, and a taunt from Salandit is very welcomed, since I will be attacking it on the next turn. Salandit dies and we pass another trial. In the Melee Sea, I can also catch my star, my shining light, my beautiful boy. Plus, look at those lumps, baby!
Oh yeah!
I name Love Disc Large Larry. The lush jungle is home to the Moss Rock, and leveling up Eevee here gives us Leafeon. Amazingly, this is our first evolved Pokemon. I can also use the Island Scan feature again to get an encounter on Route 8, and that would be Luxio, who I catch and name Lil Lightnin'. It's time for Mallow's trial, and what is going on here? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Man, Totem Lurantis is at level 24. I want a Lurantis at level 24. Lurantis has boosted speed here, so it will outspeed my entire team. All of Lurantis' moves are pretty weak against Lumiere, and Lumiere's Flame Burst does decent damage on Lurantis. Lurantis calls in a Cast Form as its ally, and now I'll be going for my Fire Z move. I waited a turn to do this in anticipation of Cast Form using Sunny Day. Inferno Overdrive easily kills Lurantis. To take out Cast Form, I switch into Lil Lab, and even a super effective Water Gun does nothing thanks to the sun. A few rock moves take out Cast Form, and the trial is completed. I make it to Coney City, where me and this large floating man play Smash or Pass. He may pass on me, but I'm smashing.
Oh yeah!
In the Akala outskirts, I can catch a Chinchou, who evolves into Lantern. I catch him and name him Lulu. In the fight against Admin Plumeria, Lulu takes out Golbat with Spark, and Salandit with Bubble Beam. Okay, time for Olivia's grand trial. She sends out Nosepass, and I send out Lil Lovebug. Giga Drain should be a 3-hit KO here, and since I'm faster, Olivia uses Thunder Wave. A Cherry Berry protects me from paralysis though. We both do the same thing again, but this time I have no berry to protect me from paralysis. However, Nosepass is so slow that I still outspeed it, and no full para knocks out Nosepass. Next is Boldore, and I'm still faster than it too. Giga Drain will be a 2-hit KO, and Headbutt doesn't do much. One more Giga Drain takes out Boldore. Finally, Olivia sends out Lycanroc. Lycanroc has its Z move, which will do a lot of damage to most of my team. It's also really fast, so it will likely kill whatever I switch in before I have a chance to attack. So I stay in and absorb the Continental Crush Z move, which shouldn't kill me. However, I do get fully paralyzed. To play it extra safe, I decide to sacrifice Lil Pup. It doesn't die right away, so I can even get a Baby Doll Eyes off, which lowers Lycanroc's attack before Lil Pup goes down. This allows me to switch in Lulu, who takes a Rock Throw and retaliates with the Water Z move, but that can't quite kill Lycanroc. I decide to risk a crit and stay in, taking out Lycanroc with one Bubble Beam. We've defeated the second Island Kahuna, and after the fight, Lulu evolves into Lantern. In the Aether Paradise, I'm attacked by this jellyfish, but I'm able to run away from it. What I can't run away from is the How fight that starts immediately after you get off the boat. Thank God I was appropriately leveled. How starts with his Alolan Raichu, and I send out Lil Leafy. How goes for Psychic, and of course, I miss Sleep Powder. That is so unbelievably bad for me. I end up making the decision to sack Lil Leafy. I'm so sorry you never got to be a Lilligant. I bring in Lil Lovebug, who thankfully doesn't get crit and thankfully hits its Grass Whistle. With Raichu asleep, I can start to take it out with Giga Drains. But How pulls a fast one on me, swapping out Raichu for Dartrix. And of course, Giga Drain does nothing here. I switch to Lumiere, and in hindsight, I should have pivoted through Lil Lightning. Now I have to risk a crit on Lumiere in order to use my Fire Z move, which doesn't even kill Dartrix. This is a full-on panic. I switch into Large Larry on a flying move, and because Large Larry's high speed allows it to knock out Dartrix. Raichu comes back out, but it's still asleep, so I stay in with Large Larry to do some damage. Unfortunately, Raichu wakes up on its third sleep turn. Large Larry, you are so large, so lumpy, and so loving. Sleep well, my beautiful prince. Can I get one final oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, indeed. From here, Leafeon can take out Raichu with Quick Attack, and eventually take out Vaporeon with Giga Drain. It's so dirty for this game to surprise you with this fight, but at the end of the day, it's on me for not looking ahead. Now I'm in Melee City on Ula Ula Island. Wait, is that the same Professor Oak? Oh my god, it is. It looks just like him. He got suspiciously tan. Why do these games always make you go to a museum or a library to info dump on you? That's so boring. Do it on a Ferris wheel like Gen 5, you cowards. I have an awkward run-in with my ex before taking on the next trial. This one is against Totem Vikavolt, who has buffs in every stat. I send out my newly evolved Lil Lab. I thought I was slower, so I start with a Rock Tomb, but end up going first. Vikavolt goes for charge, so its next electric move will be devastating. However, before it can even do that, I use my Z move with Lil Lab. The Continental Crush is enough to knock out Vikavolt. Between Lumiere and Lil Lightning, we can take out the ally Charjabug and complete another trial. Lil Lightning evolves into Luxray and uses the new Electric Z move to defeat Guzma and his Golisopod. I take a break with some Pokemon Snap before taking on Acerola's trial. This Mimikyu has me completely shook. I'm very nervous about this one. Mimikyu is a strong physical attacker, and its ability basically gives it a 1 HP substitute. So, I start with a priority Baby Doll Eyes to reduce Mimikyu's attack. Mimikyu just mimics my Baby Doll Eyes, and then calls its ally Haunter. For the next few turns, I continue using Baby Doll Eyes, which does two things. First, it reduces Mimikyu's attack so low that its damaging moves do basically nothing to me. Second, it stalls the ally Haunter out of Sucker Punch PP, since Sucker Punch will fail when I use Baby Doll Eyes. With Mimikyu at -5 attack, I decide to start using Giga Drain. The disguise is now busted, but as I heal myself up, Haunter puts me to sleep. I stay in through my wake up and start launching Giga Drains at Mimikyu. Thankfully, I didn't get crit through this process and I can knock out Mimikyu. I stall while I wait for Haunter to put me to sleep. Once it does, I can switch in Lil Lightning, and I know that Haunter won't use Hypnosis. Lil Lightning can knock out Haunter with one bite, and the scary Mimikyu trial is now complete. I make it to Po Town and defeat Team Skull Guzma once again. Lil Lush finally evolves into Lurantis, but Lumiere still can't evolve. It's crazy that Litwick can't evolve until level 41. We're so close though. I have to take on Gladion now, but my team matches up well against his. Lil Lightning can take out Golbat, and Lil Lab can take out both Type Null and Sneasel. Good work, guys. I do have a hard fight against Island Kahuna Nanu now. He starts with Sableye, and I send out Lil Lush. After getting faked out, I take a Shadow Ball and retaliate with a Petal Blizzard. One more round of that, and Sableye is knocked out. Next is Krokorok, so I switch into Lil Lovebug. Crunch is fine, but I get confused on the next turn. Luckily, I hit through confusion and take out Krokorok with a Giga Drain. Finally, Nanu sends out Alolan Persian. Lil Lovebug is dead to a confusion self-hit. Persian has its Dark-type Z-move left, which has a chance to kill anyone on my team. So I decide to do what I've done many times this run, sacrifice a Pokemon. And this time, I decide it will be Lumiere. In hindsight, maybe that wasn't the right decision, but it allows me to switch Lil Lovebug back in and take out Persian with a few Giga Drains. We were so close to getting a Lampent, but it wasn't meant to be. The Aether Paradise turns out to be anything but, and the big twist of the game is revealed. This is the same plot as Star Wars. So a wormhole opens up, there's a giant cricket or something, I don't really know. I'm more concerned with this absolutely insane fight with Lusamine. She sends out Clefable, and I send out Lil Lush. It's kind of impossible to plan for this fight since Clefable knows Metronome, which Clefable uses and turns into Thrash. Thrash is low-key great for me, since it doesn't do much, it's a multi-turn move, and it leaves the user confused at the end. I take the opportunity to set up a bunch of growths. Clefable hits through confusion, but Metronome finds Cosmic Power, which doesn't affect me as a physical attacker. Clefable hits through again, but Moonblast doesn't do much, and I can easily knock out Clefable. Mismagius is out next. Mismagius knows Mythical Fire, so I switched to Lil Lightning. He's safe to stay in and take another attack, but Crunch doesn't kill Mismagius. It's like all of my calculations are wrong. These boss Pokemon must have EVs. I switch to Lulu, who takes some attacks and knocks out Mismagius, and then Lilligant comes out. Lilligant goes for Teeter Dance to confuse me, but I hit through with a harsh Signal Beam. I'm okay with sacking Lulu here, but Lilligant goes for Teeter Dance again. Unfortunately, I hit myself in confusion this time. Then Lilligant knocks Lulu out. My fastest Pokemon can't even outspeed Lilligant, and takes a surprising amount of damage before taking it out. Next out is Beware, the little brother of Aware. I'm faster, so I heal up, which is a net positive for me. I'm able to do this a few more times before Beware starts using Baby Doll Eyes. I counter this with Swords Dance, so every time we do it, I'm increasing my attack by 1. I get up to +4 and take up Beware with 2 Leaf Blades. Finally, we have my low tick. Lil Lovebug is faster, so... What? But I thought it had 84 speed. Oh my god, does this have maxed out speed EVs? You've got to be kidding me. Lil Lush can come in and finish the fight, but oh my god, dude. This game is brutal. Finally, I make it to Pony Island. I'm riding around on this Lapras, but I wish I could catch one. Oh, hey. In honor of my fallen love disc, I name it Larger Larry.
Oh yeah.
You know, sometimes I feel like I hate this game, but some of the stuff in here is like objectively hilarious. The first trial on this island is actually the grand trial for some reason, so I'm taking on Hapu and her ground Pokemon. She sends out Sexy Dugtrio, and I send out Larger Larry. Dugtrio sets up a sandstorm, and I can kill it with Brine. Against the Mudsdale, I use the Water Z move, which kills it in 1 hit, and Flygon can't do much with Earth Power, but is extremely weak to Ice Beam. Gastrodon is Lastrodon, so while we're still safe, we go for Ice Beam, and then switch to Lil Lush, who outspeeds and kills with Petal Blizzard. Pretty easy fight there. I have one final trial, but it's at a significantly lower level than the last one, so I'm just gonna go in at whatever level my Pokemon are. Against Totem Komodo, I send out Larger Larry. Komodo starts with a Protect, so it can bring its ally out. Sky Uppercut does way more damage than I was expecting, and Ice Beam doesn't, but it does get a very clutch freeze. Hakamo'o gets the kill on Larger Larry. With Komodo staying frozen, I can get the kill with Lil Lab, and with Counter, I can easily knock out the Hakamo'o. It's safe to say this run has fallen apart, but I'm curious to see how far I can make it. Lily and I play our weird little flutes that open up space or something. Alright, time to see what this boss fight entails. Clefable is out first, and Lil Lush is a great Clefable counter. With its high special defense, it can easily take Moonblasts, and buff up its attack with Growth. After I get to +3 attack, I can knock out Clefable with 1 Poison Jab. Mismagius strangely goes for Pain Split, which actually helps me, and after it does it again, I can knock it out with Petal Blizzard. Beware actually goes for the same strategy, but I can't kill it with Petal Blizzard. A second Pain Split actually hurts me, but I can still kill it. Lilligant confuses me, but I was actually ready for that and use the opportunity to heal up. Lilligant then goes for a Petal Dance, and I can take it out with a Poison Jab. Finally, Lusamine sends out my low tick, and Lil Lush can safely tank a Hydro Pump before knocking it out with Petal Blizzard. The big bad is defeated. Boop! That fight with Lusamine is really the last successful one that I have. Against Gladion, Lil Lightning can take out Crobat with Volt Switch, and I can bring in Lil Lush. Gladion brings out Silvally, who can do a lot of damage with X-Scissor. Petal Blizzard plus hail damage can't kill, so I have to risk a crit to take it out. Next is Weevil, so I can send out Lil Lab to take some hits and knock it out with Stone Edge. Finally for Lucario, I sack Lil Lab to bring out Lil Lightning, who takes a hit and knocks out Lucario with Wild Charge, barely surviving the recoil damage. I limp bruised and broken to my final fight with Hau, whose Decadui I have absolutely no answer for. It takes out Lil Lightning and then takes out Lil Lush, and the run is officially over. Alright, now that I've failed the run, I can make the joke that you've all been waiting for. I may have caught a lot of L Pokemon in this run, but the biggest L was Large Larry, baby!
Oh yeah.
If you'd like to see a more successful run, check out one of the videos on screen now. I'm disappointed that this one didn't work out, but let's be real, it's very fitting for the letter. I learned a lot about Gen 7, and I feel confident that the next time I play one of these games, I'll do much better. If you enjoyed this challenge, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, tell your mom, I don't know, do whatever you want. Thanks for watching.